It's the 14th of August. We are back in the motherlands and I'm going to share a bit about how I stay healthy while I'm on tour. So we went back to the UK. It's amazing how a year can make such a difference. You know, we playing all these regional shows and we've had a huge kind of almost bigger than what I realise presence in the UK. You know, regionally we're playing down the coast like in Falmouth and Bournemouth, and we've been to Manchester, and it's a big deal, I guess, for a lot of artists to play different countries and also play to locals in the country, you know, to not just play to Australians abroad, which I have no problem with, to all my Australian listeners. And wherever you are from, if you have questions and things that you want to hear about from kind of behind the scenes of my life, you can comment below and we'll try and take them into account for our next little episode, if that's what we're going to call it. Basically, anytime we find a nice room, a nice little wooden warm room, we try and sit down and I take a moment to reflect through this crazy, crazy time in my life of being on the road. The biggest thing I noticed about coming back to the UK this run, besides the shows have been pretty massive, is there's been a real presence of dudes. What's all the dudes about? I love it. It's been very respectful crowds, you know, Australians and English people alike can definitely party, so that's been really cool. Lots of couples, lots of families. We've been playing pretty beautiful venues, you know, particularly considering we've been by the coast. But a pretty cool addition that we've had on this tour is we decided to get a little portable ice bath, because I was in America and I did an ice bath after one of my shows, and it's a really great way to down-regulate your adrenals. The big thing that I have spoken about with friends, and we've kind of called it the sparkle complex, is nothing compares on a dopaminogenic, if that's the word, dopaminogenic? You can tell me what it is below. There's nothing that quite compares to thousands of people screaming and singing the words and smiling at you and you smiling at them. There's not anything that does compare to that, and nothing in your normal life should. And so how you transition, even on a hormonal level, from your time on stage to off stage is really important. I always meditate before my shows, I do Wim Hof before my shows, I do yoga and running. I basically run before every show at the moment. I managed to clock 100 Ks last month of running, which I was really stoked about. And these are the things I feel like I have to stay really strict to in order to stay healthy on tour. You know, there's other things I'll share if you want to hear more, but that's a little tidbit into some of my daily schedule when I'm on the road. It's like my meditation, my vocal warm-ups, my Wim Hof, yoga, running, and now ice baths. We are on the road with Steph Strings, which is really cool to have a great, immensely talented, hardworking lady on stage.
Steph, do you have a song today? We haven't. I thought we would rehearse something today and start tomorrow. I just need to work out my set list. I've been doing Letting Go with the boys. But I just thought, because you're the biggest player, it might be an opportunity for us to do something different.
She's an incredible player. Obviously, as you well know, if you've heard Steph Strings or seen her blowing up across socials for her amazing playing and singing. In some ways, she also gives me Joni Mitchell vibes. I don't know why, she's got this old school vibe about her, which is really cool. And it's been fun. We've had a very guitar focused element when we're jamming together on stage, which isn't usual. And that's made me really happy. Sign off in it now. I kept my guard up because you let me down. We're gonna get to that me, and it's so sweet, cause I know that she does. We've still managed to have some great nature time in the UK. We did head into London, and London is a massive play for us. Last year we played the Apollo, and this time we played 2 more intimate shows at the O2 in Kentish Town. To be completely transparent, I was losing my mind by the time we finished up in London. We had like 4 days there, and I love the energy of the show in the city, but it's also really hard. Sometimes I get a bit city sick. You know, we do spend a lot of time in the city, and you know, where we are staying, which I do really love staying on our bus. It's incredible. Maybe we can show you some footage of the bus in the next episode. You just get city sick because you're just dealing with poor air quality and just noise pollution constantly. And it's a big trade-off, you know. I did manage to go to Hampstead and Heath probably 3 times in 24 hours while I was there, which certainly helps if some of you guys know that park. And thankfully it's all worth it with the love and the crowd that you have in London. But it's a big balance for sure. Because health, like on tour, it's a holistic thing, you know. It's a combination of, do you have enough downtime? Are you finding enough literal or metaphorical grounding in between shows? Your sleep schedule's crazy. It's a tricky balance, and I would say that it's possible. You just have to have a heck of a lot of discipline. And so we've had some days off. We've had a lot to do on days off. For me personally, the show is the last place I consider to be work. The show is like the reason. It's like your reward for everything you do on your days on and your days off. And on days off, we're also doing press, and we're doing interviews, and you know, things like this is a personal project for me. So it's a tricky balance for sure, but having a couple of key things, I'm sure you have things in your life that make everything possible. And for me, there's just a couple of key things that make it possible to be on the road as long as we have been this year and last year. So that's about all from me today. In our next little installment, we got some pretty beautiful shows to show you. So if you have enjoyed this and you think other people might, you're welcome to share it around. Or if you want to help us keep growing and doing more behind the scenes in the life of Zig, you know, you can like, comment, subscribe, and as ridiculous as it is, it truly does make a big difference. Thank you very much. I hope I have shared something interesting to you regarding my life and behind little scenes of what goes on. Looking forward to hearing the little rituals in your life below as well. Take care and see you soon.
It's so devilish the way you did that. Your hand rolled back. Okay, cool.